Do you think that India is talking enough to China, and China is talking enough to Japan, and Japan is speaking enough with China and India, the three large economies of Asia coordinating through this period? Is there coordination? And if not, what can we do about it? And how important of an issue do you think this is?
As of now, I would be frank enough to answer that India and China are not really talking much at all. Whereas India and Japan, they have initiated a good communicative relationship in the recent past. There has been several areas where Japan has been working with India. But some of the bigger Southeast Asian economies have to join this dialogue, and then they have to go ahead in a very coordinated way, whether it is going to be the monetary policy, either reserve management, or development of markets, regulation, and all this coordination is going to be helpful from the angle of number one, development of the own markets there, and number two, to establish a good communication line with the developed economies.
So speaking of policy coordination between Asia's largest economies, is there anything central bankers can do? Is there anything the private sector can do to help get this dialogue happening?
I think basically the three big nations of Asia, India, China, and Japan, they have to work together. I think some directional move on the positive side has happened in the recent past between India and Japan, with the high-level delegations from each country visiting the other country. That's going to augur very well for the future as far as Indo-Japanese relations are concerned. What has to happen is on the Indo-Chinese side, actually. Not much has happened. India and China have shared pretty frictional relationship from 1960s, starting with the 1962 war. I won't say that we have really overcome all that and the relationship is fine, but certainly at least some part of the past has been forgotten, but the new chapter is yet to begin. The politicians have to play a very important role. The government has to play a very important role. The central banker doesn't have too much of a role here because it's one of creating a good environment, a relationship between the two countries. Once that is created, maybe the central bank can step in and then think of maybe swap agreements, think of actually enhancing the trade, think of some exchange rate arrangements. All this could be worked out provided the initial environment is created.